Everyone, welcome to the stockpickprofits.com daily show. It is August 24th, 2018. While everybody gets signed on, let's go ahead and go through the disclaimer and stuff. Past performance is no indicator of future performance, as always. We are not registered investment advisors, so anything in this show should be for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in this show is an offer to buy or sell any securities or option contracts, or we do sell a subscription service, but get in the habit of reading the disclaimer. You know, we talk about it every show and we'll continue to talk about it every show. There's always important information. And the biggest thing that you'll find in the disclaimer in our business is disclosure. Welcome, Flory. Welcome. Yeah, we sold a winner today. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. Let me get this up here. And let's do that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Yes, the hurricane is bearing down. Hurricane Lane is bearing down on Honolulu as we speak. It's getting a little windy, a little rainy since our show yesterday. Everything's okay though on our end. If you're concerned, you know, things are looking good. Yeah, Jeff, we're doing okay, man. Just real windy, real rainy. You know, we live in paradise. We're just not used to this kind of action. So, you know, but it's supposed to actually get to the island, Oahu, which is the island we're on, which is the main city, Honolulu. And it's supposed to get here. I think it's 2:00 this afternoon. It's starting to rear its ugly head already, but let's go ahead and get into the market because there are some good things happening today. So as you guys know, we've been trading this QQQ long for about 5, 6, 7 days. We closed it out today. It expired at the end of the close, but we sold it a nice little profit today. We got that nice push on the QQQs, right? We got a little good economic report. We had some bad earnings reports, but we'll talk about that in a second because there might be a trade idea in there. And then we sold right at that top and we went short. So we are now short the Qs. We shorted it right around that peak when it hit earlier in the day. Kind of went sideways the rest of the day. As the opposite of most of the days this week, there was actually a little push into the close instead of a little pull. So we are now short the Qs. We're still long steel. We'll still like steel. X had another good day, right, Jeff? US Steel had another good day today. It was I think it got over that $31 range. It's kind of slowly trudging back up the ladder there after getting beat up a little bit there for a while. What did X close at here? I can let you guys know. Yeah, it closed at 30.95, just missed. So, you know, it's right back up around that $31 range. It's slowly trudging forward. You know, that steel trade is still in the infant stages. It looked like it was going to mature pretty quickly a few months ago, right, when we started getting the trade news and stuff like that. But it kind of just went into a funk, right, when the news cycle kind of slowed down. And the news cycle was kind of overtaken by, you know, a lot of things. We've had the Judge Kavanaugh thing. We've had the Trump impeachment things, people rolling, people pleading, people flipping, all this stuff. So, you know, the news cycle has been a little bit overworked. And the steel trades kind of got left behind, but that's fine. We're okay with that because the administration's still pushing through on these trade deals. There's probably, speaking of trade ideas, there's probably an auto trade idea in there too, materializing as we speak. We're in an auto play with our hypergrowth accelerator program, which is something, if you're interested in, same link that I post during the show, but if you're interested in it, it's a little bit different of a concept. We do overall portfolio building rather than the SPP is your options, your quick wins and things like that. But the hypergrowth is your actual building of a portfolio with the organic growth and things like that. So if you're interested, you know where to sign up, or you know where to get the information. But let's kind of swing on to the trade ideas because we don't want to make this too long of a show because that hurricane's kind of looking down at us. So, you know, we talked about a Netflix short about a week ago. And, you know, when we started talking about that, we looked and we thought, you know, just to play around, we found these contracts at the 280 strike. And, you know, we thought as a fun, you know, entertainment play. we'll follow that. Netflix had a great day today. It was a big reason that the NASDAQ pushed to that all-time high. You had both of your broad markets close at all-time highs today, S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, which is very positive. But we think, we were waiting the last few days. We've been talking about it, a push over that high, a close over that high, which would be good. But we think there's some things in the brewing. The old scorpions. We think there's some things brewing that is going to give it a little temporary pullback, and we're going to try and tap that with those Q shorts. So, that was our day today, man. We started our trade day. We had a nice little push in the beginning from the Qs. We were able to sell there right around lunch to get a nice profit. Then we turned around and we went short, which is a bold strategy, Cotton. But we like bold strategies. And let's kind of roll into the trade ideas, and then I'll go through the questions and comments real quick. Foot Locker released earnings today and just got hammered. I mean, hammered, man. If you guys go look at the stock, it was just beat down. In fact, I think I added it to the watch list, so we could find. I guess I didn't. I got it on the other watch list. But so those sports retailers, those shoe retailers, and things like that really took a hit. So Foot Locker, we kind of watched it when it came out, opened up this morning, and we're looking for maybe a chance at a reversal trade because the market was so strong. We thought maybe, there's always a chance that people kind of digest the earnings and then they feel a little bit better about things and maybe they start taking up positions. We get a little bit of reversal. Maybe we could jump on that and make a few bucks real quick. But it never really materialized with Foot Locker. But the one we're intrigued by, and you might want to take a look at this too, is Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's is a lot, big operation, very popular on the mainland. We don't have one in Hawaii, but they're building one right now on Ward Avenue where Sports Authority used to be. It's funny, these big box retailers like your Sports Authority, your Dick's Sporting Goods and stuff like that, Foot Locker to a certain extent, they're going through this evolution that you went through with the big box makers for computers, right? A few years back, about a decade back, right? Remember Computer City? Remember all those guys? Those were big boxes, and now there are other big boxes. I believe the Computer City in Hawaii is now, most of them are Lowe's. That's why they always use that same model for the architecture. That way they just change signs and they put merchandise in. But back onto the Dick's Sporting Goods, that's a little bit too much fun for a financial show. Dick's Sporting Goods, Dick's has actually got a strong balance sheet and stuff, and it's a nice little company with some growth and stuff. And like I said, they're actually expanding into the Honolulu market right now. They're opening a store down on Ward Avenue where the Sports Authority used to be. So there might be a play in Dick's, right? And sometimes a big name like a Foot Locker will get hammered, and the sector will come down with it. If you can find the gem in there, and that's the one that'll reverse. So we're taking a look at Dick's if you guys are looking at trading ideas. So other than that, we just cashed in our winnings. We set up a little short, and it was just pretty much a non-eventful day. The big market news, of course, was the Fed meeting with Fed Chairman Powell. And what he was talking about was he'd like to continue with the rate hikes, but he'd like to do it very orderly and very smart, which really the market likes. The market wants to see some interest rate hikes because it shows a strong economy and stuff. But we're getting a little, we got to be careful about inflation. And the other thing, too, is we're not getting the wage growth that we need. If we can get that wage growth kicks in, it's kind of like the last piece of the puzzle there. So it'll be interesting going forward. We like the way the trade thing is going. At first, it just became kind of a big back and forth rhetoric thing. But now it's starting to take some shape, right? We're starting to hear that Mexico and the United States are pretty close to a deal, and they're working on something with the they're bringing Canada to the board, so that would replace NAFTA, and that would seal the deal on North America, and then Asia would be the big thing. We've got this meeting with the Chinese, with our diplomats and the Chinese diplomats, towards the end of this month. We'll see how that goes. That's the big part of the puzzle, is the Chinese. If we can get a trade deal with them, wow, their markets and our markets. And that's why we say, too, for trade ideas, keep an eye on those emerging markets. There's a potential trade in there, and when it does finally click in, depending on how this trade rhetoric goes, there's probably going to be a nice move there. Your easiest emerging markets is EEM, symbol EEM. That's your emerging markets ETF. So let's go to the questions real quick here. Yes, sir, Mr. Savar, rock me like a hurricane. It's not as bad as we thought it was going to be, but it might still be early, right? The Big Island, where the volcanoes are, is just saturated. And the problem is the hurricane's moving so slow. It's been downgraded to a category 2, which is, I think, 110 miles an hour winds. But it's moving so slow, it's just languishing over areas and just inundating it with water. So that's really the problem. Going long, going short, you know us, Jeff. We go where the market tells us, right? So, we don't care. Is that greenbacks are always green? That's all we care. So look, guys, you guys have a safe and you guys have a great weekend, okay? We'll be back on Monday. Everything's okay here. The team's safe. SPP crew's safe. And, if you guys need some help, if you guys aren't, having this nimbleness that like we're having, the patience, right? You saw over the last 4 or 5 days that QQQ trade looked, it got dubious at times, but we followed the charts and we followed our technical analysis and we made a winner out of it, and we set up a short in the same breath. So if you're not getting that kind of help, if you're not getting what you need, definitely contact us. Excuse me, I was trying to push the wrong button. It's a Hurricane Friday, right? Usually it's Aloha Friday. Today's Hurricane Friday. So look, gang, let's call it a day. Let's call it a week. It was good, a nice way to close the week. Congratulations to all the members that made some money on that trade. Let's go make some more money on the reset on the short. And just for you followers, remember we're still long on the AINV. We still like steel. We still have the AKS play on the board. We're short T. We're short telecoms. T had a decent day today after having a bad day yesterday. It's kind of been in that funk right now. We're short on that right now too. We mentioned that in the past. Telecoms generally take interest rate hikes very poorly. So we're gonna monitor that as we go along. Trade ideas. We're looking for trades. Possibly this Dick's bad earnings that brought that whole sector down, or the Foot Locker bad earnings down that brought that sector's earnings down. We think it overblew the Dick's situation. So I feel so weird saying that, but it overblew the effect on on the Dick's stock. So look. Okay, you take all your little nasty jokes and you guys go have a good weekend. We kind of covered everything, right? It's kind of like with, remember we were talking about on Monday or Tuesday, I'll close with this. Monday or Tuesday, we're talking about Jim Cramer. He used to be the FANG man, right? Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Now he's the Wang guy. So speaking of Dick's Sporting Goods. Anyways, you guys have a great weekend. It was an awesome week. We had a good time. Come on back next week and we'll have some more fun, and we'll learn something, and we'll trade together, and we'll make some money together. Okay. All right, gang. So again, thank you all for joining us. You have a fantastic weekend.